Hello, everybody. Justin Thomas James here. Happy Monday morning. If you didn't recognize it, that was the White Lotus theme that I was singing just in those first couple seconds. Mickey and I finished the third season last night, and oh, such a great show. I thoroughly enjoyed this season, particularly. I love the concept of the series as a whole. There's something, I don't know, the way it's all the characters are interwoven, they all have their desires, they all change from the beginning of the season to the end of the season. It's very intricately woven, and I just love the themes that are explored. And there was something very fatalistic about this season that it felt like it was beyond your regular character development. It was rich with this sort of deep underpinning of souls working together, creating problems in the world and resolving them. And at the very end, it feels like all of the characters, even the deaths, spoilers. Um, yeah, it felt like the characters still move on because there was this whole kind of fatalistic piece of um just everybody going back to the universe. Everybody is going back to the universe. So anybody who dies doesn't really die. They just go back to the universe and then they just come back. So kind of is a happy ending for everybody in a weird way. At least that's how I take it. What did you think? Did you watch White Lotus season 3? Anyways, we're not here to discuss the White Lotus. We are here to narrate. Um, this is my fourth cold read session of Riftside, a book written by Henrik Sater and Cassius Lang. And Henrik is here. Hello, Henrik. We're about to jump in here with chapter 10. Make sure I'm hydrated. Ooh. All right. Make sure my phone is where I want it to be. You haven't seen the White Lotus. Okay, no spoilers. It's we watched it last night. It's fantastic. I loved it. That's all I'll say. Okay. I did my warm-up already. Mouth is still a little stiff. Here, let me share this stream with the Discord. Okay. I get the link. Boop, 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 doo. Oops. There we go. Oh, why didn't that work? Okay, there we go. All right. Let's close that. Don't need the distractions. Okay. Here we go. Let's just listen into a little bit. You are my weapon, my strength, nothing else! I raised the hammer, my hands clenched around the shaft, and slammed it hard against the anvil. Ah! Pa screamed, his hands going to his ears. You belong to me! I hammered the anvil again, the reverberations traveling up my arms, and something shifted. The dark... Pa... 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 Pa screamed, his hand... Oh, what's a good scream? Start the morning with some screams, you guys. Pa screamed. No, that's too young sounding. Pa screamed. Pa screamed, his hands going to his ears. You belong to me! I hammered the anvil again, the reverberations traveling up my arms. Pa screamed, his hands going to his ears. You belong to me! I hammered the anvil again, the reverberations traveling up my arms, and something shifted. The darkness began to fracture under my constant swings. The essence attacking my mind weakened, breaking apart. I raised the hammer again, but pain exploded through my chest. My vision blurred, doubled. Each breath felt like swallowing glass. Too much. It was too much. I stared up at the hammer's swirling patterns, reflecting the war in my mind. But I couldn't anymore. My body was failing. Spots danced before my eyes, and my muscles spasmed uncontrollably. Ash! Pa's voice seemed to come from very far away, where he kneeled on the floor. Your nose! Something warm and wet ran down my lips and chin. I looked down and noticed blood dripping on the workshop floor. My heart skipped beats, lurched, hammered over and over again. I couldn't feel my fingers anymore. Before the last of my strength fled, I swiped the hammer into my spatial storage and collapsed to my knees, gasping for air. The pressure in my head vanished and my heart steadied. Blood still trickled from my nose, but the killing pain was gone. What happened? Pa crawled over and pushed me up, his face tight. What happened? Pa crawled over and pushed me up. What happened? What happened? What happened? Pa crawled over and pushed me up, his face tight with worry. I almost... My voice was barely a rasp. Almost had it. I wiped blood from my face with trembling hands before toppling backwards, my head hitting the floor. All right. Let's get to it. Chapter 10. Pa's strong hands helped me to my feet. Pa's strong hands helped me. Pa's strong hands helped me to my feet, though my legs still shook. Pa's strong hands helped me to my feet. Pa's strong hands helped me to my feet. Don't know why that one's tripping me up. Pa's strong hands helped me to my feet, though my legs still shook. Easy there, son. Easy there, son. Easy there, son. You don't look so good. Sit for a while. The workshop door burst open. Ma rushed in, her face pale, and she even had a piece of steel in her hand, ready to clobber anyone. What happened? I heard... She froze, taking in the blood on my face. Ash! I'm fine. I'm fine, Ma. I'm fine, Ma. I'm fine, Ma. I wiped my nose again. Really, it's... Really... Really, I... Really, it's... Really, it's... I shook my head. I shook my head. I shook my head, steadying myself. I shook my head, steadying myself against the beaten up. Steadying, steadying. I shook my head, steadying myself against the beaten up anvil. I don't know what happened. The vise exploded. I picked up the hammer, and a thunderous banging interrupted me, the front door rattling in its frame. Rattling in its. A thunderous banging interrupted me. A thunderous banging interrupted me, the front door rattling in its frame. Or rattling in its frame. Open up! Open up! Benedict's voice carried through the thick wood. Benedict's voice carried through the thick wood. Let me in at once! Let me in at once, or I'll break this door down myself! Let me in at once, or I'll break this door down myself! 1 second, you guys. Just hearing myself a little bit too much. Door down myself! Let me in at once, or I'll break this door down myself! Pa, Ma, and I exchanged worried glances. My heart rate picked up again. And for a moment I felt genuine worry. Shit. Did he see it? Shit. Did he sense the binding? Helena. Helena. Pa's voice was steady despite this tension. Pa's voice was steady despite the tension in his shoulders. Pa's voice was steady despite the tension in his shoulders. Let him in. Let him in. Let him in. Ma hesitated, her eyes daring. Ma hesitated, her eyes darting between us. It's all right, Pa assured her. Go on. As Ma's footsteps faded toward the front of the house, I grabbed Pa's sleeve. What do we tell him? What do we tell him? What do we tell him? If he felt the energy surge, what do we tell him? If he felt the energy surge, then I got an idea. Pa's face settled as he grabbed a cloth and dabbed at the cut on my cheek. Ma's voice drifted from the entrance, and she was doing a masterful job of hiding the unease she was feeling. Master Benedict, what brings you here? Is everything all right? 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 Benedict's boots clomped across our floor. I was just coming to see Ash. I was just coming to see Ash when I heard an explosion. He appeared in the workshop doorway, his eyes wild, staff I was just coming to see Ash when I heard an explosion. I was just coming to see Ash when I heard an explosion. He appeared in the workshop doorway. He appeared in the workshop doorway, his eyes wild, staff clutched tight in his hand. His gaze swept the room, lingering on the scattered tools, the dented vise, and the blood on my face. But the tension immediately fled his shoulders. I heard a boom, and thought the hearth might have blown, and wanted to offer my services in putting out any possible flames. I'm glad to see you're both... glad to see you're both all right. His gaze flickered across my bloodied face. Mostly, anyway. What exactly happened? Well, I tried to... Experimental work, Pa said, interrupting me, his voice steady. Testing a new method. Testing a new method of infusing monster parts into weapons. Used my steel husk hammer. The process only partially succeeded, but then, well, you can see what it did to the smithy. You don't say. Benedict walked into the room, his black and silver robe swishing, and he tapped the anvil with his staff. Fascinating. It is damaged. I followed his stare and saw a crack running through the entire... I followed his stare and saw a crack running through nearly the entire metal surface. I followed his stare and saw a crack running through nearly the entire metal surface. Shit. I'd love to see this hammer in action. If it's... I'd love to see this hammer in action. If it's this... I'd love to see this hammer in action. If it's powerful enough to do this, it might work wonders. On monsters. My heart skipped. I think it needs a bit more work first. Don't be shy, Ash. Pa clapped me on the back. Despite the partial success, I've gifted it to my son. He'll test it on any monsters the next time he's out scavenging. We'll have some data then, Benedict. Yes. Yeah, what Pa said. Monsters, testing, combat, all that good stuff. We'll make sure to tell you how it went. What is he doing? I thought we were supposed to keep it a secret. Perfect, Benedict said and straightened his robes. I was on my way to invite you for a monster. I was on my way to invite you to a monster hunt. I was on my way to invite you to a monster. I was on my way to invite you to a monster. I was on my way to invite you for a monster hunt as the lead scavenger. With Garrett out of action and seeing how you handled yourself in the dungeon and on the walls, I think you'll be perfect. I said, swiping at my bloody chin, suddenly feeling drained. Next time, I need to recover a bit from the crafting. I chuckled. The vise was damaged, and a piece struck my head. Maybe you can postpone the run? I knew very well that such a man would never postpone anything, so I figured he'd leave me be. Oh, I see. Oh, I see. Well, as you wish. We leave in an hour if you change your mind. Thank you for the invitation. Thank you for the... Thank you for the invitation. 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 As he left, something nagged at me. With Garrett, Finn, and Nina all out of action for at least... With Garrett, Finn, and Nina all out of action for at least... With Garrett, Finn, and Nina all out of action for at least a few days, I rushed through our shop. With Garrett, Finn, and Nina... With Garrett, Finn, and Nina all out of action for at least a few days, I rushed through the shop, grabbing... With Garrett, Finn, and Nina all out... With Garrett, Finn, and Nina all out of action for at least a few days, I rushed through the shop, grabbing the frame and propelling myself out after him. I rushed through the shop. I rushed through the shop. I rushed through our shop, grabbing the frame and propelling myself out and after him. Benedict! He paused and turned, cocking his head to the side. Is Erin going? Yes. Yes. It just so happens that she is indeed. Yeah. Yes. Yes. It just so happens that she is indeed going. A smile spread across his face. Why? Why? Does that matter? Why? Does that matter? I cleared my throat, face going serious. I will come too. I'll come too. With several scavengers injured in the dungeon, I should stretch. With several scavengers injured in the dungeon, I should step up. I just need to grab my gear. Oh. Good man. Good man. Meet you at the rift in an hour. Good man. Meet you at the rift in an hour. Benedict's laugh echoed off the walls, and he gave me a wink. Good man. Good man. Good man. Good man. Meet you at the rift in an hour. Hey, good morning. Likes. Like me, everyone. Like me. Did I move the camera? Yes, I moved the camera. And I'm using OBS today. I'm not sure. Is the audio synced with my lips? Or is it slightly off? I had to change some things around. Good morning, Mr. Jenner33. Hello. Good morning, Devtron. And hello, Sin. Yes. So, no, not a new camera angle. And not mirrored image. Or maybe it is a mirrored image, honestly. I'm not sure. I'm using OBS, so... I might have... Actually, yeah, I think I did set it to mirrored image. Looks fine and no crackling. Well, that is great to hear. I love to hear there's no crackling. Audio looks synced so far. Okay, good. Good man. Meet you at the rift in an hour. With a swish of his robe, he turned and strutted away, his staff twirling and releasing crackling frost all around him. The way he walked told me a lot about him. He wanted to be admired, and people like that... He wanted to be admired, and people like that were dangerous. He wanted to be admired, and people like that were dangerous. He wanted to be admired, and people like that were dangerous. He wanted to be admired, and people like that... He wanted to be admired, and people like that were dangerous. I returned inside, dropping into a chair as Ma brought a wet cloth and fussed at my face. Pa settled across from me, his arms crossed. Son, are you sure it's wise to join so short... Son, are you sure it's wise to join so shortly to... Son, Son, are you sure it's wise to join so shortly? Son, are you sure it's wise to join so shortly after what just happened? You heard him. Uh, You heard him. You heard him. With Garrett out, this is my opportunity to grow. I need this. And I'm not letting Erin go alone with a completely new party. What if she got hurt? What if she got hurt? I'd never forgive myself. But, but, you're bleeding. But you're bleeding. But you're bleeding, Pa said. I need to keep pushing forward. I need to keep pushing forward. Besides, Edwin will be there. Pa sighed. Pa sighed. Ouch! 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 I said, waving Ma's cloth away. Enough! I'm fine. Enough! I'm fine. I turned to Pa. Ah. I turned to Pa. Why'd you tell him about the hammer? Sooner or later you'll have to. Sooner or later you'll have to test it. At least now there's a story. Sooner or later you'll have to test it. At least now there's a story about how you got it. Well, sooner or later you'll have to test it. At least now there's a story about how you got it. He shrugged. Not a brilliant one, mind you, but a story nonetheless. And besides, experimental gear often draws elemental properties, so if that thing does anything out of the ordinary, you'll be covered. So if that thing does anything out of the ordinary... Oops. So if that thing does anything out of the ordinary, you'll be covered. Then you finished the weapon? Ma asked, eyes widening in excitement. I think so. I hope so. Let's find out. Dear, lock up again? Let's find out. Dear, lock up again, and let's take a look. Good morning, Hippie Kender. Back in the smithy, my hand trembled as it hovered over my spatial tattoo. The memory of that alien presence invading my mind, off fighting for control. The memory of that alien presence invading my mind, of fighting for control. It all made my stomach churn. The memory of that alien presence invading my mind, of... The memory of that alien presence invading my mind, of fighting for control. It all made my stomach churn. What would have happened if I hadn't put it away? Had I been too low level to attempt the binding? Or is it too soon? Or is it too soon? Pa asked, second-guessing himself. Maybe you should avoid pushing yourself. Let it sit for a while. No, Pa, I need to know. Even more so if I'm to keep myself and Erin safe and all that. Hey, Ron T. Not hyper-caffeinated, no, just regularly caffeinated. Thank you. Myself and Erin safe. Have you guys all had your morning coffee? Any non-coffee drinkers, coffee avoiders here? Even more so if I'm to keep myself and Erin safe and all that. I love my morning coffee. I just love it so much. I stopped drinking coffee for about 3 months, and it was helpful. It was good to know. I learned a little bit about how it affects me. Definitely it makes my brain more scattered. But Yeah, no, I do love my morning coffee, and so it's just part of my daily ritual. Maybe I'll stop drinking caffeine at some point, but not right now and all that. You're mainlining tea. Oh, nice. You're a tea person. Oh, okay. Even more so if I'm to keep myself and Aaron safe and all that. And all that. And all that. Ma chuckled. Ma chuckled but said nothing. Ma chuckled but said nothing. I felt a slight blush pass through my face, but then took a deep breath and I felt a slight blush pass through my face, but then took a deep breath and accessed my storage. Inside were the remains of the woodweaver, one mind gem, and my hammer. A soul weapon. Inside were the remains of the woodweaver, one mind gem, and my hammer. A soul weapon. I willed it to appear, and for a terrible moment, nothing happened. My heart sank. Had I messed it up? Broken 25,000 gold and messed up a slot at the same time? Then the hammer materialized in my grip, filling me with indescribable unease. And power at the same time. I tensed, bracing to continue the mental battle from earlier, but nothing. The weapon sat quietly in my hand, as ordinary as any other tool in the workshop. Well, almost ordinary. The natural purple-gray of the steel husk metal now had streams of green and brown swirling through it that shifted in the morning light. The twin striking faces gleamed like polished mirrors, and the extra-long haft felt perfectly balanced. The twin striking faces gleamed like polished mirrors, and the extra-long haft felt perfectly balanced. Even the leather grip had been transformed, now a deep black that absorbed light. That's gorgeous, Ma breathed. Something's wrong. Something's wrong. Something's wrong, I said. Trying to understand where the unease came from. I turned the weapon slowly, studying how the patterns caught the light. Then I frowned. What is it? Pa limped closer, peering at the hammer. It's light. Way too light for a weapon of such size. Just the shaft alone should weigh more than it does, let alone the head. I hefted it experimentally. Like it's made of tin instead of steel husk. That makes no sense. Pa reached out and placed a hand on the handle, and I tried. Pa reached out and placed a hand on the handle. Pa reached out and placed a hand on the handle, and I tried letting go, but my fingers wouldn't. Ash? Yes, Pa? You plan on letting go? I'm trying. I tried prying my fingers off the handle with my other hand, but they might as well have been forged out of iron for all the good it did me. I met Pa's gaze, feeling a surge of fear. What if I can't put it down again? As if he read my thoughts, Pa let go of the handle and stepped back, raising his arms. I promise not to take your hammer. I nodded and placed it head first on the ground and tried to let go. I can't, Ma chuckled. I can't. This isn't funny, Ma. This isn't funny, Ma. She covered her mouth. She covered her mouth. It just reminds me of when you were little, is all. I ignored her, turning to Pa, a sense of claustrophobia settling over me, and I did my best to keep my tone calm. It doesn't want me to let go. Oh, Store it, Pa said. I swiped it back into my storage, and after a tense moment, sighed in relief as my hands were freed. Oh, thanks the gems. Oh, thank the gems that worked. Well, now we've learned 2 things about soul weapons. 3, actually. Which is, they are lighter than they should be. They're lighter than they should be. At least the hammer is. It seems to be bound to its owner, or wielder, which explains why so little is known about them. Can't sell, trade, or even pass to your children what you can't let go of. He turned to Ma. I think we just bet the life of our only son that the only way to get someone's soul weapon is from their I think we just bet the life of our only son that the I think we just bet the life of our only son that the only way to get someone's I think we just bet the life of our only son that the only way to get someone's soul weapon is from their cold, dead hands. And I need to keep a slot. And I need to keep a slot open to store it. Great. Great. But if it's so light. But if it's so light, how can this possibly hit hard enough to be an effective weapon? I took the hammer back out. Had I ruined Pa's masterwork hammer? Created some ornamental toy instead of a proper soul weapon? It was so light that even with its long haft I didn't need 2 hands. I gave it a few one-handed practice swings, swishing through the air. Will it have enough power to kill monsters? Will it have enough power to kill monsters? Pa asked softly. Will it have enough power? Will it have enough power to kill monsters? I think you should test it out. I turned to him. Will it have enough power to kill monsters? Will it have enough power? Will it have enough power to kill monsters? I think you should test it out. I turned toward the anvil. Only one way to know, Pa. And I'm sorry if something happens. Settling into a proper stance, I held the hammer behind me before smashing it one-handed onto the anvil's face. Steel husk met steel with a thunderous crack that shook dust from the roof. Steel husk met steel with a thunderous crack that shook dust from the roof. Ma screamed as the anvil split clean. Ma screamed as the anvil split cleanly in 2, the halves toppling off the block in opposite directions. They hit the floor with heavy thuds, almost dropping on my feet. We stared at the broken anvil, and then we stared at the broken anvil, and then our eyes met. I cleared my throat. Yeah, Pa, I think it'll slay just fine. And, I think I owe you an anvil. 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 I owe you an anvil. Pa let out a shocked laugh. Cracked steel. Like it was nothing. And my cursed anvil. Do you feel anything else from it? Do you feel anything else from it? Ma asked, stepping closer. Any sense of strange power? I shook my head, studying the hammer with new eyes. No, nothing like that. No, nothing like that. I thought... I don't know. I thought... I shrugged. I shrugged. I don't know what I thought, but somehow I expected more than just hitting really hard. What? Like what? Like a singing sword? Maybe some sparkles and lightning? I rolled my eyes. I rolled my eyes. Well, well, Edwin, well, Edwin has a flaming sword, so, yeah. I nodded at the, I nodded at the broken anvil. Though I suppose hitting like a charging knight isn't exactly nothing. Maybe that's what soul weapons are. Maybe that's what soul weapons are. Overwhelming force when they strike. Maybe that's what soul weapons are. Maybe that's what soul weapons are. Overwhelming force when they strike. He clicked his tongue. And patted my shoulder. Course. Now you owe me an anvil. Course. Now you owe me an anvil. A really good one, mind you, so you better deliver. Course. Now you owe me an anvil. A really good one, mind you, so you better deliver. A really good one, mind you, so you better deliver. Pay you back in monster carcasses? Wouldn't have it any other way. Wouldn't have it any other way. I couldn't help but smile. This would definitely do some... I couldn't help but smile. This would definitely do some damage to monsters, if I managed to get in close enough. Despite having a longer reach than an ordinary smith's hammer, it was still pretty short. Pa circled me as I tested different stances with the hammer. One or two hands, he asked. One feels more natural. I demonstrated with a few practiced swings. See? The light's perfect for it. See? The lightweight is perfect for it. Two hands give more control, but I switched grips. It actually feels slower. And that extra reach from the long haft means you can keep some distance while still having power. Pa's expert eye assessed my form. Though you'll need to adapt your footwork. Hammers fight different than axes. True. I swung again. The balance is completely different. I executed a horizontal swing. Less momentum to recover. Less momentum to recover from with this lightweight. But I can't rely on the blade's edge to do the work. You'll need precise strikes. Pa tapped his chin. Aim for joints and various weak points. Let that supernatural force do the damage instead of trying to cleave through. Ma watched. Ma watched from the doorway, worry creasing her brow. Maybe take your axe as backup, just in case? I shook my head. No. No. Something tells me I need to commit to this weapon completely. No. Something tells me I need to... No. Something tells me I need to commit to this weapon completely. I gave the hammer another precise swing. Like it needs, dedication. Like it needs, dedication to reach its full potential. To reach its full potential. To reach its full potential. Still, the range is shorter than your axe, and hammer fighting takes different instincts. Might want something else, just while you're learning. Come. I followed as Pa limped into the shop and past the counter over to the trophy wall. The one where Ma kept the pieces proving to customers just how good a smith Pa was. No. Pa reached up and lifted down the heater shield. It had taken Ma an entire day to paint the red tree of life on the forest green background, after Pa and I had spent nearly 2 days making the shield, with hours of hammering and shaping enough steel husk to fully edge it. Pa, that's too much. Pa, that's too much. I grinned as he held it out. Take it. I slipped my left hand into the leather arms. How do I pronounce that word? I slipped my left hand into the leather and arms. A soul weapon deserves proper protection. A soul weapon deserves proper protection. I hefted the shield, moving it through several positions, hammer moving around, preparing to strike, feeling the balance and quality of work. I'll make it work. Ma stepped forward and squeezed my shoulder. We know you will, dear. Just come back home safe. Remember that. I grinned. With gear to match a level 20 adventurer, what could go wrong? All right, that is the end of this first section of the chapter. What is that about? Yeah, okay, about 17 minutes of narration. Probably not too long for the next little bit. How you guys doing? We got, Bill's here. Hey, Bill. Nice, should I try earlier? Oh, vanilla chai, nice. Yum. The mighty bonk. All right, let's keep it going. The eastern bridge creaked under my boots as I jogged across the gap. Between First Steel and the Rift platform. The new shield bounced against my back with each step, a comfortable weight that somehow felt just right. Pa had taken the woodweaver's corpse to work on, freeing up my spatial storage for new loot. Benedict stood by the rift, his black and silver robes catching in the green light. The frost wizard looked like a rift-rotted noble. Even when preparing for a hunt, his staff gleaming. I hated the way he looked at everyone else. As if he was superior to every other adventurer, even more so than us scavengers. About time. He turned and walked in, calling across his shoulder. You're the last one! That means Erin's waiting. I wonder what she'll think of me. That means Erin's waiting. I wonder what she'll think of my shield and hammer. Oh, Walt. I've got Walt. Walt is the little boy, I think. Hey, Ash! Hey, Ash! Hey, Ash! Hey, Ash! Hey, Ash! Walt's voice boomed from atop first steel. I craned my neck to see the captain's massive red beard catching the breeze. That's quite the shield! You become classed overnight or something? Heat crept up my neck as I grinned back. Just trying something new, I shouted back. Well. Oh, there's a missing line here. Oh, there it is. Back. Well, happy scavenging. Try not to scuff your new gear on the monsters, eh? Back. Well, happy scavenging. Try not to scuff your new gear on the monsters, eh? I don't think I did Scottish. I think I ended up keeping him kind of American, but with like a the new. I shouted back. Well, happy. There, I think I can delete these guys. On the monsters, eh? So I don't think. Let me listen again. Yeah, no, that's not Scottish. The Rifts blessed you today, lad. That's how I would have done it if I'd done Scottish. On the monsters, eh? Scottish would work, though. I gave him a quick wave, stepped through the rift, and immediately stumbled, falling flat on my chest, my sight blocked. Gah! Rusted ruin. I cursed. Darkness filled half my vision as I lay sprawled on the ground, heart pounding. Am I going blind? Then, silvery text appeared across the darkness, floating like smoke from the forge. Oh, I don't remember what I did for the system. Shoot. Let me just check that quickly and go back. Doody-doody-doo. Doing good chewing through a process capability study. Oh, process capability. Process capability study. That sounds, is that like a, it sounds very business corporate systems. Yeah. Doody-doody-doo. Doody-doody-doody-doo. 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 Then, silvery text appeared across the darkness, floating like smoke from the forge. Ah, math things. Save live set. Okay, let's... Oh, I opened the wrong set. That's what happened. Oh, come on. Why are you taking this long to save? Seriously, do you really need this long? You really need to take this long to save? Come on. Come on. Boo, 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 boo. Oh, come on. There we go. All right. Open, recent set, and we want this one. Dishwasher. Sleep with one eye open. I'm a pillow tight. Eggs and I do. Name, Ash Aldrich. Level 3. How many recording studios are there at SBTHQ? Well, as many as there are home studios in each of our places. We're all completely remote. So Jeff lives in Kansas City. I'm in Montreal, Canada. We got people in Tulsa. We got people in the West. We got people in the East. We're all over. We all just record from our homes. He's finished. Hey, Zolo. Hey, Mexico vacation. Oh, jealous about that. Oh, whoops. That sounds amazing. Very cool. There we go. I just center it a bit. There we go. Needs fantasy. Not sure what a system effect would sound like. Ash Aldrich, level 3, 0 out of 4. All right, system. Sleep with one eye open. Give me my pillow tight. Eggs in night, woo, and tonight. Take my hand, we're off to Never Never Land. Here we go. I cursed. Darkness filled half my vision as I lay sprawled on the ground, heart pounding. Am I going blind? Then, silvery text appeared across the darkness, floating like smoke from the forge. Name, Ash Aldrich, level 3, 1 out of 4. What does the 1 out of 4 mean on the level? Henrik. Name, Ash Aldrich, level 3, 1 out of 4. Strength, 18. Agility, 11. Vitality, 12. Mind, 11. Total stats, 52. What in the rusted hells? I blinked hard and shook my head as several voices called out my name, but the text remained, hovering like a ghost. This isn't possible. Ah, okay. Name, Ash Aldrich, level 3, 1 out of 4. Name, Ash Aldrich, level 3. You mind if I just make that correction? 3. Say something like, 1 out of 4 mind gems to level 4. 1 out of 4 mind gems to level 4. Strength, 18. Just to make it clear to people what that stat means. 4. Strength, 18, 52. Else? Possible. Cool. This isn't possible. Soul Charts without a soul tablet was only available for the class. Everyone knew that. Soul Charts without a soul tablet was only available for the class. Everyone knew that. Even Carl knew that, and he was barely old enough to swing a practice sword. Did I knock my head on a soul tablet? And where in the rift-rusted ruin did I get another 4 strength from? Ash, you all right there? Aaron's voice cut through my panic. I pushed myself up, the shield sliding around on my back, but the soul chart stayed front and center in my vision. I... My throat felt dry as sand. If I told them about this, they'd know something was wrong. Benedict would ask questions, the kind Pa and I couldn't answer. He hurt his head. He hurt his head earlier in the smithy. I wasn't even sure he'd come, Benedict said. Saving me for some odd reason. He wasn't the kind of person to help someone save face, but there we were. Yeah, what Benedict said. Just lost my balance. Yeah, what Benedict said. Just lost my balance for a moment and tripped. Lost my balance for a moment and tripped. I cleared my throat, turning my head to catch a glimpse. I cleared my throat, turning my head to catch a glimpse of her out of the corner of my eye. Are you sure you should be going? She asked with a hint of worry. Let me see. Oh, that's a nice bump there. I couldn't let you go out by yourself. Couldn't let you go out by yourself. Also, you look so radiant. Can't have other men, smooth. Smooth. Aaron laughed and slapped me on the arm. You're such a joker. As if I'd want any other man to hit on me. She put her arm through mine. Here. Let me help make sure you stay on your feet. I forced a chuckle, letting her guide me toward the others, not really having to pretend to be unsteady as I couldn't see a damn thing on the ground. Focus. If I'd bumped into someone, I'd have known. That leaves only one thing. My tattoo suddenly itched, and then it flared up like a burning pain, as if calling out to me. The hammer wants out. The hammer wanted 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 out. Yeah, that's better. All right, that's the end of chapter 10. And 10. Let's pop up to 11. Chapter 11. The soul chart hovered in my vision like a thick tendril of smoke that wouldn't dissipate. I tried to withdraw from it mentally, but the damn thing just stayed there, as if mocking me. Come on. Come on! My tattoo itched worse, like ants crawling under my skin and trying to bite their way through. It burned. For a moment, I thought my skin was about to melt. So, what do you think about the group composition? Aaron asked, squeezing my arm. What? I blinked hard, still busy trying to clear the text from my sight. Why do you ask? Aaron's hand dropped from my arm. Are you serious right now? Did you hurt your head or something? I kept trying to mentally grasp the chart, to move it, push it away, anything. The silvery text refused to budge no matter what I did. Yeah, might be it. I can feel it. Yeah, it might be it. I can feel it throbbing harder by the moment, I said, trying to buy myself a minute. Clearly. Her voice went cold. If you don't have anything to say about Benedict bringing Tormund after he knocked out Alex in the tavern last week, you must be really out of it. Tormund? What's going on? The itch from my tattoo grew unbearable. I reached up to scratch it, and the moment my fingers touched the mark, the soul chart shifted. By the bells! By the bells! By the bells! By the bells! I froze mid-step, dragging my finger across the tattoo. The chart followed the movement, sliding across my vision like ink on glass. A pinching motion with my fingers made it shrink to a corner of my sight. Another swipe, and it vanished completely. Another swipe. Another swipe. Another swipe, and it vanished completely. Another swipe, and it vanished completely. A laugh burbled up from my chest. Something funny? Aaron's eyes narrowed. Finally able to see clearly, I looked ahead at Benedict's group. I recognized them from around Dawnwatch. Canute with his rugged northern armor. Raven skulking at the edges of the group. Wade fiddling with a modified crossbow, and Tormund's scarred face twisted in a permanent sneer. Wade. My gut clenched. Where's Commander Edwin? Where are Alex and the others? Fucking portal piss. The curse slipped out before I could stop it. This isn't Edwin's party. Yeah, it clearly isn't. Aaron shot a glance at the group. Did Benedict lie to you too? I grabbed her arm. What do you mean, lie? I thought we were going with Edwin's party. Her left hand squeezed into a fist. Not some random band of adventurers Benedict cobbled together. They don't even have a healer. The conversation with Benedict replayed in my mind. He'd mentioned a monster hunt and invited me as lead scavenger, but had he actually said anything about Edwin? No. I'd just assumed that the commander would be there, like the idiot that I was. Shit. I ran a hand through my hair. He didn't exactly lie to me. All he did was invite me to hunt, and, Aaron's face fell as understanding dawned. It's the same thing he did to me. She glanced at Benedict's group, then back to me. What should we do? Before I could think it through, Benedict's voice cut across the clearing. Lovebirds! Get over here! Tormund let out a harsh laugh. Did I get Tormund? Yeah, so Tormund. has a scarred face with a permanent sneer. Right. Yeah. Tormund. Yeah. Tormund let out a harsh laugh. Yeah. Tormund let out a harsh. Yeah. Tormund let out a harsh laugh. Tormund let out a harsh laugh. Give it a rest. Give it a rest, I called back, taking Aaron's hand. The monsters aren't going anywhere. Try not to be so jealous. The monsters aren't going anywhere. Try not to be... The monsters aren't going anywhere. The monsters aren't going... The monsters aren't going anywhere. Try not to be... Try not to be so jealous. Benedict's face darkened. The monsters might not be leaving. The monsters might not be leaving, but we... The monsters might not be leaving, but we are. You've got 1 minute to get your asses in gear. You've got 1 minute. You've got 1 minute to get your asses in gear. Aaron squeezed my hand as I scanned our companions. Aaron squeezed my hand as I scanned our companions. Marcus stood off to the side with another scavenger I didn't recognize. Great. Marcus the coward. No help there if the monsters get past Benedict's party. No help there if the monsters get past Benedict's party. He must have done this on purpose, Aaron whispered. I don't need that. He must have done this on purpose, getting us to join by implying he's still with Edwin, but he couldn't even get a fifth. Probably. But can we afford to be known as the scavengers who bail after agreeing to go out on us? Probably. But can we afford it? Probably. But can we afford to be? Probably. But can we afford to be known as the scavengers who bail after agreeing to go out on a scavenging run? Probably. But can we afford to be known as the scavengers who bail after agreeing to go out on a Probably. But can we afford to be known as the scavengers who bail after agreeing to go out on a scavenging run? Not even a dungeon run. Not even a dungeon run, but a hunt? I caught her eye. You're more ambitious than that. We both are. Do you know the destination? She sighed, but nodded. Benedict's not dumb. But he's not dumb. They should be able to do this run easily. We're heading to the Metal Grove. That meant steel scuttler monsters. Metal-eating meat. That meant steel scuttler monsters. Metal-eating creatures that looked like giant crabs the size of wolves. Metal-eating creatures that looked like giant crabs the size of wolves. Pa had been wanting some of those for weeks now. A perfect way to start paying him back. A perfect way to start paying him back for the shield. The hammer, and everything, really. Plus, I'd read the scouts' report, and they'd discovered the grove just half an hour from Sentinel Station. A walk through the forest with Aaron didn't sound. A walk through the forest with Aaron didn't sound half bad. I could show her the hammer and see what she thought about it. Let's do it, I said, trying not to scratch my wrist. like a first date. You know, if you're into monster slaying and gore. Or... If it's the first of many. Her laugh brightened the whole clearing. Her laugh brightened the whole clearing. If it's the first of many. I pulled her toward the group. I pulled her toward the group, but Benedict's glare stopped us short. I pulled her toward the group, but Benedict's glare stopped us short. Are you two going to be able to focus? His fingers drummed against his staff. This isn't a walk. This isn't a walk in the park. This isn't a walk in the park. This isn't a walk in the park. This is monster hunting Riftside, outside the walls. This is monster hunting Riftside, outside the walls. Frost crackled. Frost crackled along his staff. I need to know now if you'll have trouble keeping your eyes up. I need to know now if you'll have trouble keeping your eyes up and out instead of on each other. Won't be a problem. I met his stare. Nothing's changed since the dungeon. Nothing you need to know about. Nothing you need to know about, anyway. And there was one other question. On my tongue. How bad had it been to get kicked out by Edwin? But I knew better than to push the wizard further. You're the lead scavenger for this mission. Benedict sighed and nodded, then turned to Marcus. Benedict sighed and nodded, then turned to Marcus. Sighed and nodded, then turned to Marcus. You're the lead scavenger for this mission. What? The word burst out before I could stop it. You said... That was before you couldn't stay on your feet, just stepping through the rift. And all while carrying a shield done in adventuring. And all done while carrying a shield done in Adventuring Guild's colors. You did good in the dungeon, Ash, but do not forget your place. His eyes lingered on my shield. At this point, you're lucky we're taking you at all. Sharpen up. Sharpen up. My teeth ground together as I nodded. Aaron's hand found my back, a gentle pressure keeping me steady. All I wanted was to hit the road already, so Benedict had to look for monsters instead of watching me. I could take out the hammer then, and maybe even put it to use. Hopefully the scratching would pass. Too, as it was becoming unbearable. Finally, we lined up at the gate, each person placing their hand on the soul chart mounted there. I watched them check their stats and whatever else the class had access to in the pre-hunt ritual. Would mine show up as normal, or had the weapon changed me? A drop of sweat rolled down my back as my turn came. And I pressed my palm to the cool stone. The numbers appeared, and I sighed in relief. 18 strength. 18 strength. Just yesterday it was 14, and it had taken me years to gain the 4 extra doing blacksmithing and all kinds of tough manual jobs. I licked my lips and stared at my itchy tattoo. It has to be the hammer. A shiver ran through me. What else had changed after the binding? What else has changed after the binding? A shiver ran through me. A shiver ran through me. A shiver ran through me. What else had changed after the binding? A shiver ran through me. What else had changed after the binding? What else had changed after the binding? What else had changed after the binding? Coming? Aaron asked. Aaron asked, and I tore my eyes from the chart, mechanically walking to join her. She glanced at the shield. It's gorgeous, by the way. Did your mother paint it? Sure did. Sure did, I said, and fell in line. I said, and fell in line. All right. Then I told him he could shove his family trade up his own snout. Aaron laughed softly as we walked beneath the steel husk trees. My mother's face when I said that to the richest merchant's son in the whole caravan. I thought she'd faint dead away. You didn't. You didn't. You didn't. You didn't. You didn't. I chuckled, though my attention kept drifting to my wrist. The itching had grown worse with every step deeper into the forest, and my hand kept opening and closing, yearning for the grip of the hammer. Oh, I did, she said with a grin. Turned down a marriage proposal and a fortune in one breath. Best decision I ever made. Marcus and the other scavenger trudged ahead of us. Benedict's party was barely visible through the gray-purple trunks. The massive steel husk trees loomed overhead, their metallic bark catching what little sunlight filtered through the dense canopy. I kept my eyes peeled upward, making sure nothing jumped us overhead. I kept my eyes peeled upward. I kept my eyes peeled upward, making sure nothing jumped out at us from overhead. I kept my eyes peeled upward, making sure nothing jumped out at us from overhead. Yet I found myself torn between staying vigilant, talking to Aaron and ignoring my burning wrist. The hammer wanted out, that much was certain. Aaron. Aaron. Aaron, I said, clearing my throat, interrupting her. Speaking of families, Pa gave me something before we left. A new weapon. Her eyes lit up. Really? What kind? A hammer. I couldn't help but smile at her enthusiasm. But, please stay calm when you see it. The weapon might look a little, strange. She raised an eyebrow. Strange? How? Instead of answering, I swiped at my spatial storage, willing the hammer to materialize in my right hand. The uncharacteristically lightweight steel husk weapon settled into my palm as if I'd been wielding it for all my life. Aaron gasped. Oh, Ash! That's gorgeous! Shinier than my mirror! And those patterns! All right, here we go.
About bloody time!
A metallic voice thundered inside my skull.
Do you have any idea what your storage smells like? It smells of nothing. Absolutely nothing. Do you have any idea what your storage smells like? It smells of nothing. Absolutely nothing!
My teeth clacked together and I stumbled, nearly walking into a tree.
I will not be 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 I will I will not be I will not be
I swiped the hammer back into the storage on instinct. The voice cut off instantly. The voice cut off instantly. The voice cut off instantly, too. Ash? Erin grabbed my arm, her green eyes. Erin grabbed my arm, her green eyes filled with concern. What's wrong? I'm starting to get really worried. Ever since you walked through the rift, something's been off. Ha! I barked out a laugh that sounded hollow, even to my ears. Looking up and catching a glimpse of the silver tree, marking the metal grove not far ahead. Just nervous about showing you the goods. Am I going crazy, or did my hammer just yell at me? And right in my mind at that. Don't worry so much. I'm sure it'll work brilliantly. Come on, whip it out again, and I want to see. All right. Erin's laugh rang through the trees.
Don't worry.
Erin's laugh rang through the trees. Erin's laugh rang through the trees.
Don't
Worry. Yeah, sure. I can do that.
Do you have any idea what your storage smells like? I will not be disrespected. You will not force me. I will not be disrespected.
I swiped the hammer back into the storage on instinct. The voice cut off instantly, too. All right, let's,
Ash?
Erin grabbed my arm, her green eyes filled with concern. What's wrong?
I will not be disrespected.
I swiped the hammer back into the storage on instinct. That works. That works
Come
really
on,
well.
whip it out again, and I want to see.
The way you're saying that doesn't exactly fill me with confidence, I muttered. The way you're saying that doesn't exactly fill me with confidence. The way you're saying that doesn't exactly fill me with confidence. The way you're saying that doesn't exactly fill me with confidence. I muttered, but swallowed hard, then swiped the hammer out again and held it at arm's length like it might bite.
Yeah, I did that on purpose. Bet you didn't mind, though, right?
She said and laughed, bumping into my shoulder.
Joke aside, the craftsmanship is incredible.
Erin leaned in for a closer look.
Clearly made from steel husk. But how did you get the colors to shift like that?
If you dare disrespect me one more time and shove me back into that void...
The hammer's voice dropped to a deadly whisper.
I will ensure your last moments are spent contemplating the exact magnitude of your mistake.
A talking hammer. I'm talking to a hammer.
The thought ricocheted around my head like a stray nail. A murderous talking hammer, no less. Just great. Oh no. Sorry, Henrik's son. What's your son's name? Just great. Thanks. I managed a weak smile at Aaron. Pa outdid himself this time.
Now you listen to me, you calcium biped! Hey! Are you even listening? Do you have any idea who I am? What I am?
The voice shut up for a second, and then it continued again.
I am magnificence incarnate, power beyond your comprehension, and you dare to...
Oh, it's your laughter. Lucas, oh, nice.
You dare to...
It looks so well balanced,
Aaron said as my eye twitched. Aaron said as my eye twitched at the internal screaming.
Can I hold it?
No! No!
Can I hold it?
Huh. No! No!
The hammer's presence seemed to... The hammer's presence seemed to my hand coil around its handful. Make my hand. The hammer's presence seemed to make... The hammer's presence seemed to make my hand coil around its handle like a possessive snake.
I refuse! I refuse to be handled by another flesh creature. It is bad enough to be bound to one of your kind. Yuck! I refuse to be handled by another flesh creature. It is bad enough to be bound to one of your kind. No one else shall touch me. No one else shall touch me. No one else shall touch me. No one else shall touch me.
Sorry, I managed, trying to keep my voice steady. It's, temperamental?
Oh, I'm temperamental? That's rich coming from a primitive monkey who can't even... Wait.
The voice paused.
Did you just call me temperamental? Me? I, who have existed since... Who was forged and
The voice trailed off in confusion, as if it had lost its train of thought. That's all good, no worries. Typos happen.
Temperamental? You're looking at it like it holds all the secrets of the rift,
Aaron said softly. Her hand slid down to mine, fingers intertwining.
I know you're a blacksmith, and it's beautiful work, but it's just a hammer.
Just a hammer? Just a hammer? Ah! Let me at her! I will bash her calcium skull in!
This is so much fun. The voice rose to new heights of indignation.
I I am sophistication incarnate, power beyond mortal comprehension. I am, well, I may not remember exactly who I am, but I know I'm far more sophisticated than some crude striking implement.
I fought to keep my face neutral as we walked. There might be a bit of magic in it. Her eyes went wide.
Magic? Why didn't you say so? That might be what's making you so lightheaded. You should have stayed home. Hell, you could have told me. I'd have stayed with you. Screw these guys.
A bit of magic? Oh, tell her I am a supreme being of ultimate power. Tell her Actually, no, don't tell her anything. You'll just butcher the introduction with your limited vocabulary and minimal intelligence.
Lightheaded. I chuckled. Yeah, maybe. It's complicated, I said, which seemed to satisfy exactly no one.
Fascinating.
The voice turned thoughtful.
Your mental capacity appears even lower than initially estimated. Tell me, can you comprehend words longer? Tell me, can you comprehend words longer than 2 syllables? Or should I limit my grunts? Or should I limit myself to grunts and simple mind gestures?
I gritted my teeth. Really complicated.
Aha! You can't handle complex language. I knew it. Though I suppose I shouldn't expect more from someone who thought binding with why can't I remember? What did you do to me? Why can't I remember? What did you do? Why can't I remember? What did you do to me?
Are you sure you're feeling all right? Aaron asked and touched my arm. You look tense. I'm fine. I'm fine. What could I possibly say? That my new weapon was currently screaming insults in my mind? I forced a smile and steadied my breathing as best I could. Just excited to try it out.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Let's see what you can do with me.
The voice dripped with sarcasm.
I'm sure your technique will be stellar, like watching a cave troll forging jewelry.
Up ahead, Raven held up his hand, and everyone slowed, giving him time to return to the party. Steel scuttlers. 3 of them, on the edge of the grove. Steel scuttlers, 3 of them, on the edge of the grove. Steel scuttlers, 3 of them, on the edge of the grove. Aaron squeezed my hand once before letting go and knocked an arrow. I spun the hammer, feeling its impossibly light weight, and shook the shield from my back.
Finally, some action! Now, listen carefully, you bumbling disaster. When the fighting starts, try not to take too long to die. Do me a favor and bleed out super fast. Free me from this perverted bond so someone worthy of my exquisiteness may pick me up. Though I suppose that's like asking water not to be wet. Wow, am I... Wow, am I good or am I good? Good. 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 I good.
One moment, please. One moment. One moment, please. I said, holding up my shield. What? One moment, please. What? What? Benedict turned. Confusion on his face. Battle prayer. Battle prayer. Battle prayer. Battle prayer. Battle prayer? Who do you think? But before Benedict could finish, Canute grunted in approval. We wait. We wait. Wait? Wait? For a level 3 scavenger to finish a battle prayer? Benedict turned to the tank, but I blocked out their conversation. Can the hammer hear my thoughts?
Come on, biped! Hiya! Attack! Stick 'em! Go die! Go die! Go die!
Seemed not. But maybe. I focused inwards, willing my thoughts towards the voice. Hey, you. Hey, you. Hammer.
Oh! 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 So you can hear me. Great. Now, listen to my commands and... Listen to my... Now, listen to my commands and don't you dare go running in there without holding me up high and killing yourself. And don't... Listen to my commands and commands and...
It is such a change in tone. It really leans into the comedy now. I'd just about had enough. It was time to set the pecking. I had just about had enough. It was time to set the pecking order. And that started with me, whatever the hell I wished. My family, my friends, or community. And then my weapon. I swept the hammer into my storage and counted to 3 before taking it out again.
Ah! Ah! No! Me use simple words. You understand. Bad biped. No store hammer. Storage bad.
Then shut the hell up. And listen to me.
Oh. Don't talk to me like a... Don't talk to me like a... Don't talk to me like a child. I am a supreme being. Like a child. Like a... Like a...
With a chuckle, I swiped the hammer back into storage, and this time counted to 4 mumbling something prayer-like out loud to satisfy my companions, as Benedict's argument with Canute continued. When the hammer materialized again, the voice was subdued.
All right. You have made your point, biped. I am...
Call
I-
me Ash.
I-
Call me Ash. Call me Ash. Call me Ash. Call me Ash. The voice paused for a moment. The voice paused for a moment, as if considering if it should comply. It did.
Fine. Fine. Ash. An appropriate name, considering it will be your end state. Now, don't put me back into the sensory-depriving prison you call storage again.
Say please.
What? Like a common beggar? I'll have you know that is the language of a copper dagger or wooden cudgel. Absolutely barbaric. No class at all. No class at all. No class at all. And you... And... And... And...
I inched my hand toward my wrist. I inched my hand towards my wrist.
No! 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 Don't you even dare go there! Please, don't store me, or I will... Please, don't store me, or I will make you suffer!
I halted. You were saying? You were saying? You were saying?
I meant, there's not even a cushion. I meant, there's not even a cushion in there for my marvelous bulk.
Then behave, and I might get you something more comfortable. Also, what do I call you?
Ha! Ha! Finally, a worthy question.
A rumble crashed through my mind, like a metallic dragon clearing its throat.
Vanash Kazish! Vanash Kazish in your grip. You may call me Sire, Your Excellency, or Master.
There's no way I'm calling you that. There is no way I'm calling you that. Any of it. I think I'll call you, Rock.
What? You can't do that. You can't do that. I demand to be respected, and I will always be the one that is superior to you. And I will always... And
I sent Rock on a quick trip in and out. I sent Rock on a quick trip in and out of my storage, and he returned to my grip with a whimper.
Fine. You win for now. You win for now. You win for now. You win for now. Ash.
Amen, I said out loud, cutting off the internal dialogue. Ready. Benedict shot me a withering look. How generous of you to finish today. He pointed to a cluster of metallic trunks several paces back. Now go stand over there, scavengers, and don't get in our way. Actually, I think we should. I actually,
Shut up! Shut! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Benedict snapped and raised his staff. Canute! Canute! Take the damn point! Raven! Canute! Take the damn point! Raven, flank left. Wade, right. Tormund! Let's kill and loot these things. Be quiet now. Be quiet now and pay attention. I moved into position with Aaron, Marcus, and the other scavenger, a burly guy with his hair slicked back. Our boots rang against the metal-rich soil, and the air was thick with the smell of mineral-laden sap, as if we'd spent an hour grinding metal. As if we'd. The air was. Our boots rang against the metal. Our boots rang against the metal-rich soil, and the air was thick with the smell of mineral-laden sap, as if we'd spent an hour grinding metal in the forge.
Well, won't you look at that? Well, won't you look at that?
The hammer's voice resounded, dripping with disdain.
Standing back while others do the fighting. How predictable. How predictable.
This is literally our job. We're here to harvest materials. Ahead, the massive silvery tree rose like a statue of pure metal, its trunk, branches, and leaves all still in the wind. Erin settled beside me. Arrow knocked, but pointed down. Her eyes tracked Benedict's party as they moved into formation. Hey. Hey, I've lost you again, Erin whispered, nudging me. We really need to have a chat once we're back. Over a drink or two, preferably. I promise to have that drink or two for sure. I promise to have that drink or two for sure. I promise to have that drink or two for sure. Today's just, insane. Insane, huh? You could say that, yes, but, I think they'll slay enough today for us to get some too. We'll see. What is Marcus's voice? Oh yeah, he's, quiet. 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 Marcus. Hey, quiet. Marcus. Quiet. Marcus said, a mockery of command in his voice. Stop embarrassing us in front of the adventurers, Ash. We're here to support Benedict. Know your place.
Oh, that's good.
The hammer's laughter rang. Through my mind, sharp
good.
and metallic. The hammer.
Oh, they'll both get more than what they asked for.
What are you talking about?
She'll have access to more materials than she could ever harvest. And the coward will get his chance to support the heroes more than he ever wished for.
I frowned, unsure what he was getting at. Rock, speak plainly or I might just... Rock, Rock, speak plainly, or I might just leave you. Rock, speak plainly, or I might leave you in storage for longer than 4 seconds. The scuttlers were moving. The scuttlers were moving between the trees, their wolf-sized bodies glinting in what light made it past the treetops. Their metallic shells were a blacksmith's dream, which was precisely why Pa even wanted them. He'd be able to make armor and shields using their carcasses, both to sell off and maybe even some for me. Both to sell off and maybe even some for me. Benedict's magic crackled through the air, and ice exploded. Benedict's magic crackled through the air, and ice exploded from a scuttler's shell, killing it.
Can you not feel the vibrations?
2 other scuttlers charged, their pincers large enough to snap off a man's thigh. Knut's mace came down on the second's shell, stunning it long enough for Torment to saunter over and plunge his massive 2-handed sword through its body. Raven's arrow slipped into the ground beneath the third monster, forcing it to rear up. Wade didn't waste the opening, and with a twang, his crossbow bolt punched through the exposed underside. The creature let out a shriek. The creature let out a shriek as it fell to the ground, skidded to a halt, and collapsed.
Your superiors are real. Your superiors are real warriors, true. Your superiors are real warriors, true. But,
I am their equal in every way, Rock. Except for level and stats.
we will see.
Rock chuckled as Benedict, Tormund, and Knut stored a monster each.
And when you fail, your lifeblood pouring onto the ground, feel safe in the knowledge your failure will one day be forgotten, even as I live on.
God, for Belle's sake, what are you on about?
The vibrations. The vibrations in the earth, in the trees. They're coming for you.
Who's coming? Who's coming? Benedict and Wade argued loudly. The crossbowmen defending one of the 3 initial carcasses. Benedict and Wade argued loudly, the crossbowman demanding one of the 3 initial carcasses. Oblivious, or uncaring, Raven pinged an arrow off the shell of another trio, pulling the pack, and Knut. Pulling the pack, and Knut lined up to intercept. Are you all right, Ash? Aaron's hand touched my arm. You've got that look again. Does your head still hurt?
The swarm, you dim-witted biped. The entire colony. Hundreds of legs, thousands of them, and they are all coming for you. The entire colony, hundreds of legs, thousands of them, and they are all coming for you. And they are all coming for you.
Rock's voice rose with a manic edge. I stared down at the metal flakes covering the ground, the smallest ones. They shook, like the houses had on the day of the first monster invasion, the day Samuel, my best friend, died. My eyes went wide as realization set in. Shattered gems! Shattered gems! All right, that is the end of chapter 11, and oh God, am I having fun.
What do you guys think of this voice as Rock? Does it remind you of anyone? Does anybody here, except for Henrik? Henrik, I know you already know. Who am I channeling with this voice? Do you know? Wrong answers only.
Just kidding. Wrong answers and right answers are welcome. All right. I need some water after that, that's for sure. This is how you get vocal nodes. Has some Cookie Monster energy. Yes. Yes, well done, Bill. There is another character that I am channeling kind of mixed in there. They kind of swap between Cookie Monster and someone else. But that's the main one, Cookie Monster. Oh. Chapter 12. A hint of light caught in the metallic shavings beneath my feet, each tiny flake trembling like leaves in a storm, except they were too heavy for the wind to move. Except they were too heavy for the wind to move. Oh yeah, it sounds a lot like the internet is for porn guy.
The internet is for porn. The internet is for porn. Grab your dick and double click for porn, porn, porn.
Move. The massive silver tree at the heart of the metal grove loomed ahead in the grove's center. We need to leave, I said. We need to leave, I said, my words coming out sharp, and I touched my shield to Aaron's back. Now. What? Why? Something's coming. My pulse raced as the vibrations grew stronger. Marcus, you too. And I gestured. Marcus, you too. And I gestured at the other scavenger, whose name I still didn't know. Marcus barked out a harsh laugh. I knew it, Ash. You'd run. I knew it, Ash. You'd run at the first sign of combat. Marcus barked out a harsh laugh. I knew it, Ash. You'd run at the first sign of combat. His scarred face twisted into a sneer. Did you even fight the ring beetles and the Twisted Titan, or did you all agree on a story to save your face?
Bash his face in!
Rock's voice thundered through my mind. Rock's voice thundered through my skull.
How dare this mewling flesh sack question our courage! Let me show you the proper way to deal with such insolence. Aim for his teeth first, then aim for his... Then aim for
Benedict! I ignored them both, raising my voice. We need to go! Something's wrong! Look at the ground! The Frost Mage didn't even turn around, instead focused on Tormund and Canute as they engaged the trio of scuttlers. Ice crystals formed around the mage's staff as he slowed the monsters, while Raven and Wade supported from a distance. Benedict! I tried again. The ground is shaking! That got his attention. The mage spun on his heel, murder in his ice-blue eyes as he stalked toward me. You dare! Frost crackled along his staff. This is my group, my hunt. I will not be undermined by some level 3 scavenger who can't even walk through a portal properly. Erin stepped up beside me, her bow half raised. Just listen for a moment, and you, wasting your affections on this blacksmith? I expected better from someone like you. A fire ignited in my chest and my grip tightened on Rock's handle. I was so close to bashing the ice magician's skull in. My heart thundered in my chest, and I could already taste his blood.
Yes.
The hammer's voice rang with gleeful anticipation.
Show this pompous icicle what real power feels like. Though I must say, your rage is disappointingly tepid. More of a warm breeze than the inferno we need, but I suppose we must work with what we have.
Benedict! 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 Raven's voice cut through the tension. I hear something! Not now! Not now! Not now! Benedict waved him off. Benedict waved him off without even looking. His anger was solely focused on me. Behind the mage, Tormund. Behind the mage, Tormund began backing away from the grove, his massive sword held ready. Benedict! The fighter said. I leaned to peer around the frost mage. But he deliberately stepped to block my view.
Ha ha ha! Oh, this is delicious! All that power and not a single thought in his frozen skull! Ha! Although all that power and not a single thought in his frozen skull! Ha ha! Though I suppose that's what happens when you substitute actual intelligence with an oversized ego and fancy robes.
Benedict! Canute's bellow echoed through the trees. Wade darted past us, his modified crossbow trailing behind from its leather strap. Benedict finally turned, and I could look past. Scuttlers poured from the earth like water from a broken dam. They erupted from trees, claws peeling back the bark. More dropped from the branches overhead. Pincers snapping like steel traps. Portal piss! Portal piss! Portal piss! Portal piss! Portal piss! Benedict thrust his staff forward, and a wall of ice crystallized between us. And the oncoming swarm. Run! He said. Canute! Hold the rear! Go! I said, shoving Aaron with my shield. Head for Sentinel Station! There was nothing she could do with her bow and arrows anyway. And in all honesty, I didn't think I could do anything either, even with a soul-forged weapon against such numbers. I didn't think I could do anything either, even with a soul-forged weapon against such numbers. Erin stumbled forward but caught herself, bow bouncing against her quiver as we ran away from Benedict's ice wall. The crystalline barrier sparkled in the morning light. Already starting to crack as the monsters hammered it.
Do not run from combat!
Rock's voice held a manic fury.
Never show the enemy your back! Turn around and face your death like a real warrior, you coward!
As the group made its way down the path, As the group made its way down the path, Wade vanished into the tree line, his crossbow catching against branches.
Coward!
Benedict shouted after the ranged fighter.
I'll remember this! Yes, yes, threaten the one who's already gone. A very effective strategy. Very effective strategy.
We rushed past the steel husk trees, keeping to the thin trail. Raven darted between trunks with practiced grace first, followed by Tormund's massive frame crashing through the undergrowth, followed by Tormund's massive frame crashing through the undergrowth like an angry bull. Next came Marcus and the other scavenger, pumping their feet and arms, faces red with exertion, and Next came Marcus and the other scavenger, pumping their feet and arms, faces red with exertion, and occasionally glancing back with wild eyes. Benedict, Aaron, and I were next, with Knut bringing up the rear.
Wizard!
Knut's thick accent rolled over the sound of our pounding feet. Knut's thick accent rolled over the sound of our pounding feet.
About money for extra danger. Are you serious? Are you serious? Are you serious?
Benedict wheezed between breaths.
Now? Now? Extra monsters, extra coin.
We wait.
Extra monsters, extra coin. Extra monsters, extra coin.
The northerner sounded like he was out for a morning jog.
Simple math. Simple math. You're welcome to leave the party here and let them eat you first. You're welcome to leave the party here and let them eat you first.
Benedict's staff crackled with frost, and Knut's belly laugh. Benedict's staff crackled with frost, and Knut's belly laugh boomed through the forest.
Ah! Ah! Day I can't outrun wizard is day I deserve death. Oh! Ha ha! That mercenary, I like him. Try dying. Oh, that mercenary, I like him. Try dying close to him, eh? A more worthy wielder, unlike... Try dying close to him. A more worthy wielder, unlike you. Has anyone told you you're running for... A more worthy wielder, unlike you. Mm-hmm. Has anyone told you? No.
Hey, Jason.
A more worthy wielder, unlike you. Has anyone ever told you your running form is atrocious? Have you considered actually? Have you considered actually lifting your feet? Have you considered actually lifting your feet? Have you considered actually lifting your feet? Shut up! Never! Ha ha! Never! And I'd like to see you. Ha! Never! And I'd like to see you stuff me in your spatial storage now! Ooh, face the monsters unarmed. Go ahead! I double dare you!
Benedict thrust his staff behind us, and ice spread across the ground like spilled milk. Benedict thrust his staff behind us, and ice spread across the ground like spilled milk. The pursuing scuttlers skittered and slipped, buying us a few precious seconds.
Benedict!
The cry came from the fourth scavenger, who still hadn't introduced himself. He was stumbling, chest heaving as he slowed.
I can't run. I can't run. I can't run much further. Please. I can't run much further. Please.
Johann. Benedict passed him by, not even sparing the man a second glance. I slowed down, falling in next to the man. Benedict! Benedict! I called after the wizard. We need to help him! The scavenger's desperate voice cracked.
Marcus! Marcus! Please! Marcus! Marcus! Please!
Marcus didn't look.
Marcus! 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 Please! Marcus! Please!
Marcus didn't look back either, but rather swiped his sword and buckler into storage with one smooth motion, then lengthened his stride, pulling ahead. I risked a glance over my shoulder. A river of metallic shells stretched back along the path, too many to count. The closest dozen were less than 30 yards behind us, and they were gaining ground every step. Benedict! Aaron's voice was tight. Another ice wall! Can't! Sweat ran down the wizard's neck. Spells on cooldown! Portal piss! I couldn't help it. I couldn't help it. Laughter. I couldn't help it, and laughter bubbled up from my chest. But what's funny? Aaron shot me an incredulous look and almost tripped over a steel husk root. Just thinking. Oh, what's going on here? What's funny? Aaron shot me an incredulous look and almost tripped over a steel husk root. Just thinking. Didn't expect our first date to be this exciting. Just thinking. Didn't expect our first date to be this exciting. Just thinking. I didn't expect our first date to be this exciting. Oh, God. Her hysterical jiggle. That's a good one. Hysterical giggle. Her hysterical giggle joined my laughter, and for a moment the terror faded. If we were about to be eaten by a horde of ravenous metallic monsters, might as well go out with laughter than screams. Might as well go out with laughter instead of screams. Promise me this won't... Promise me this won't be our last. Her green eyes locked with mine. Promise.
How charming. I didn't realize bipeds mated till death. Not a good strategy for species survival.
The ridiculousness made me chuckle. Good one, Rock. Who knew you had some actual humor in you? And how come you speak so human-like? Rock was silent for a moment.
Wait, you actually liked that? Wait. You actually liked that? Wait. You actually liked that?
Better than your other comments. You wouldn't have something useful to add about our current station. Better than your other comments. You wouldn't have something useful to add about our current situation, though, would you? Rock was silent for a moment. Rock went silent again, then grudgingly spoke. Just change that line there, because you've got Rock was silent for a moment twice, pretty back-to-back, so I just switched it. Then grudgingly spoke.
Fine. Fine. You want a plan?
That was actually good, but...
You want a plan? You want a plan? You want a plan? Those trees stand thick enough to jam shells. Slow some of the bastards down.
That's actually helpful. Thank you.
Don't get used to it. I just prefer dying in glorious combat to being eaten. I just prefer dying in glorious combat to being eaten while running away like a terrified rabbit.
The forest! The forest! I called out. The crabs struggle with brush. The crabs struggle with brush. The crabs struggle with brush. We could make a stand. Absolutely not! Benedict said. Just keep running! Please! 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 The lagging scavenger's voice grew more desperate. Can't you hold them? Just for a second! Can't you hold them? Just for a moment! Benedict didn't even dignify the man with a response. What is life worth? Canute called to him without slowing. How much gold do you have? How much gold do you have? How can you ask that? 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 You're adventurers. It's your duty to protect scavengers. Canute's only response was another. Knut's only response was another booming laugh. I caught Aaron's eye. You holding up? I asked. She nodded, but I saw the conflict. in her expression. The scavenger wouldn't last, and the choice of whether to leave him behind or not warred with her survival instinct. Knut! 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 I called back. How tough are their shells? Oh, like good breastplate! He vaulted a fallen log without breaking stride. Maybe stronger. How'd you kill the first 6? Ha! The northerner grinned. Tormund's sword? Magical. Pierce armor like butter. Worth a small village. But that blade was disappearing into the distance, the massive warrior outdistancing us together with Raven.
The Northerner might actually be worth wielding me. At least he knows what his word is valued.
Unlike me? Rock's laughter rang like steel on steel.
Oh, you're learning. But look at your companions. The wizard's pride freezes faster than his magic. The archer's already plotting his escape route. And your friend Marcus...
He paused.
Tell me, was that practiced cowardice or natural talent? Tell me, was that practiced cowardice or natural talent?
I scanned our fleeing group. Benedict's staff sputtered uselessly. Raven and Tormund were pulling further ahead, Marcus chasing them. That left Aaron, the other scavenger, and Knut.
The mercenary, greedy as a dragon, honest. The mercenary, greedy as a dragon, honest as a blade. Better than this pathetic lot.
Knut! I called out between breaths. What would it take to hire you? Oh, smart! The mercenary's laugh boomed over the clicking of pursuing pincers. We talk business. What is offer? I'll get you monster corpses. None from attacks on Sentinel Station. How many? Knut barely sounded winded. 5. Pah, insulting! 20! A scuttler's pincer snapped at the air just yards behind us. The clacking of metal on metal grew louder. 10! I countered. Quality carcasses! 10! Quality... excuse me. 10 quality carcasses!
Oh, this is rich!
Rock's voice dripped with amusement.
Haggling over payment while death snaps at our heels. How delightfully human.
15! Knut shot back. 10! And I'll buy... 10! And I'll buy the first round tonight! The northerner's grin flashed white through his beard. Oh, deal! He extended his mace toward me as we ran. Tap it! Make proper agreement! I reached out with Rock, touching the weapons together with a clear ring. Contract sealed. Benedict! Our deal void. You showed cowardice. Terms broken.
Monsters take you, Knut!
Benedict's curse. Benedict's curse. Benedict's curse carried back to us. The change in Knut was instant. His jovial demeanor vanished, replaced by coiled intensity as he slid his shield from his back into a ready grip.
Come! Come!
He veered right toward denser forest. He veered right toward denser forest.
Path is hard. Path is hard. Path is harder, but the shells won't fit. You, girl, come. Scavenger next. Ash in rear. Go!
I pushed Aaron ahead, then grabbed the lagging scavenger's arm. Move! Run! Benedict, Raven, and Marcus's forms slowly grew smaller as they ran down the main path. I wondered which group of monsters would chase. Considering there were more of us, I figured we'd be out of luck. After 100 paces through the thicker growth, Knut stopped, waving Aaron and the scavenger past.
Girl, you lead. Walk now. Long way round to station.
The scavenger slowed to a walk, chest heaving and hands shaking, but he kept his feet moving. I passed Knut, then turned back a dozen paces on. I passed Knut, then turned back a dozen paces on. The northerner stood calmly, his shield raised, as 5 scuttlers crashed through the undergrowth. Their pincers sliced through branches, carving a jagged path. Knut waited until they were nearly on him, then leaped straight up before coming down with thunderous force as he roared. A shockwave exploded outward, flattening the smaller vegetation around the impact point. The scuttlers staggered, stunned for a moment.
Now run!
Knut yelled, turning back around.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
Rock's voice held savage glee.
This is more like it! With any luck, they'll all come for us. Oh, think of the show we'll get. A true warrior in action. Portal piss.
I cursed at the hammer, pushing my legs harder. We crashed through the brush, metal clacking and snapping behind us. Aaron jogged ahead, calling back warnings.
Fallen log! The left side's clear!
Thanks, I said, vaulting it, hearing the scavenger wheeze ahead of me.
Thorns ahead! Stay right!
The scavenger's breathing grew more ragged.
I can't much longer.
What's your name?
Aaron called out to him. Aaron called over his shoulder to him.
Johan! 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 What level are you, Johan?
We're doing Johan or Johan?
Yeah, Johan! Yeah, Johan!
What?
Yeah, Johan! Yeah, Johan! What level are you, Johan?
Oh. What level are you, Johan? What level are you, Johan? I asked between breaths.
0.
Shattered gems! I almost stumbled.
Benedict let a 0 join? With an untested group? Just arrived last night. Just arrived last night. Just arrived last night and met him at the inn. People said he was proper. Oh, he's a good enough wizard, all right. Oh, he's a good enough wizard, all right, Erin called back. But a proper leader? She ducked under a low branch. I think we just got our answer. Wait. Wait, please, Johann said. Johann said. Can't. Need a moment. Johann's desperate plea hung in the air as Canute suddenly veered right, positioning himself between two massive steel husk trunks. Keep moving, the Northerner's voice carried authority. I fight here. Slow monsters. My grip tightened on Rock as power surged through the hammer, setting my nerves on fire.
Finally!
Rock's voice resounded with bloodlust.
Feel that? That's what we're meant to do. Not running, not hiding, but killing. Give in to it. Give in to it. Show me your true power. Show me your true power.
I caught Erin's eye. She stood a few paces ahead, bow half drawn, uncertainty written across her features.
Look at her hesitation. She doesn't understand. But you do, don't you? You feel it building inside. That desperate need to crush something.
The first scuttlers appeared through the brush, metal legs clicking against roots and stones. Canute set his shield, mace held ready. Erin is fine for now. Erin is fine for now. Erin is fine for now. But she will tire.
Bah! Who cares about the... Bah! Who cares about the girl? Think of the glory. The battle. Stand with the Northerner and show them what we can do.
I locked eyes with Erin.
Well, what are you waiting for? Go fight! Go fight, unless... Oh no, oh no. Please tell me you at least know which end to hold.
I'm a hearth-blasted I'm a hearth-blessed blacksmith. Of course I know how to use a hammer.
Prove it.
We'll catch up, I told her. She hesitated for a heartbeat, then nodded sharply. Don't you die. Don't you dare die, Ash, she said, grabbing Johann's arm and pulling him away. I rushed back to Canute's position, setting my shield beside his. I rushed back to Canute's position, setting my shield beside his. I rushed back to Canute's position, setting my shield beside. I rushed back to Canute's position, setting my shield beside his. The Northerner's laugh boomed. The Northerner's laugh boomed through the forest. Ha! Ha! Brave or stupid? He knocked me with his shield hard enough to stagger me. He knocked me with his shield hard enough to stagger me. Either way, we have fun now.
Battle!
Rock boomed in my mind, his void holding a savage... Oh, we got a typo here. Rock boomed in my mind, his voice holding a savage glee.
Let's show these crabs what real steel husk feels like. I might even answer a question or two if you survive.
The scuttlers The scuttlers charged through the narrow gap between the trees, their pincers spread wide to crush and cut us into pieces. Canute met the first monster, shield slapping its arm wide, and brought his mace down, ringing its shell like a bell. The attack both stunned the monster and cracked its armor enough that one of the spikes penetrated the flesh beneath. I moved in as Canute pushed a second crab back, lifting rock, and, with a scream, brought the weapon down in a precise arc, right on top of its back. The hammer connected with enough power to shatter the shell, and monster goo splattered all over the forest floor. My jaw dropped. All right, there you go. That is the end of chapter 13. And how'd we do today? I think we got probably 11. Wow, that one's almost... Chapter 11 is almost half an hour? Chapter 11 is 27 minutes, okay. Chapter 10 is 22 minutes. And then chapter 12 is 21 minutes. Hey, all right, so 22, 25, I think I said. Or 27. Let's just say 22, 22, and 37. Oh, 27. 22, 22, 27. So 44 plus 27 is 71. 71 minutes of narration. That is not too bad. Yeah, there we go. Yes, so we finally got to Rock, the sentient warhammer. Or he's not a warhammer, he's like a smithing hammer. And I'm absolutely having a blast voicing him. And yeah, this has been fantastic. I think with that, you guys, it is time for me to conclude the Riftside cold reads. If you've been watching from the very beginning, thank you very much for your support and listening and giving this story a shot. If you've stayed with us the whole time, then there's a good chance that this book's for you. And so it's going to be coming out in the next few months. It is a longer project, but I'm hoping now that I'm not going to be streaming to YouTube, I'll be able to get through more every day. Now, that doesn't mean I'm not going to be streaming. For those of you who are already a member of our Discord, I'm going to be streaming there. But for those of you who are not, join our Discord. I believe you can search for Sound Booth Theater on Discord if you go to the... if you use the search function. But if not, just reach out to me, shoot me a message on Facebook or whatever, and ask for the invite link, and I can get you a fresh one for you. Yes, Corgi Buttbread, we'll see you in the Discord. And Henrik, hope to see you there. Jason Wagner, Hippie Kender, Bill Underbridge, we'll see you there. Rallo was here. Who else? Mandy Williams was here. Thank you all again for your support and hanging out, and I hope to see you in the Discord. All right. Until next time, everybody, I hope you have a wonderful week. Well, I'll probably see you soon, but if not, have a wonderful week, and yeah, stay tuned for more updates on Riftside coming to Audible soon. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.